Hi, I'm Amy. I am a registered nurse from Melbourne, Victoria. I've been asked to do this video on a little bit about my time over in Africa with Giddy's Adventures. I went to Kenya and I went to a small place called Maguri, which is a village approximately, I think from what I remember, it was 8 to 10 hour drive or bus ride from the main city, Nairobi. I went through Giddy's Adventures and it was everything I expected and more. From the moment I arrived in Nairobi, I was picked up at the airport and taken to a hotel where I stayed, I think it was 1 or 2 nights. And then from there, I was again picked up and taken to the local bus station and told exactly which bus I was to get on. So obviously with the language barrier, it was quite, it's really hard to know which sort of direction to go. I did travel on my own as well, so this was really helpful to me. So they actually took me straight to the bus. I got on the bus and they even explained to the bus driver where I was going. And I must admit, on the bus I was very anxious and it was kind of like, oh my God, how am I going to know when to get off? Like, you know, you're going through multiple villages, you're stopping off to go to the toilet, but you don't know whether this is my station to get off. The bus driver was really helpful, and when I actually got to my point, to Maguri, he then let me know to jump off. If you do go to Maguri, make sure you bring snacks, lots of snacks on the bus, because I think the bus can get delayed a lot and you can be on it for a long time, so that's really important. Lots of water too. From when I got off in Maguri, I was met by the Giddy's Adventures team. Very warm welcome. I was so excited. There was like hugs everywhere. I was then taken to my accommodation of where I was going to stay in Maguri, and it was kind of like an apartment block. It was completely fenced off. There was 24-hour security out the front. So I felt from the moment I got there, I was like, yeah, I'm safe. I had my own little 2-bedroom apartment by myself. Very clean, no complaints at all. There wasn't a running shower. There was a bucket and shower, which for me, I love. I think it's a part of the experience of being in Africa. I had a lady that came to my house who was about my age actually, and she would cook me 3 meals a day. Well, she'd cook me breakfast, make me lunch to take to the hospital during the day, and be there making dinner for me at night. Like, it was incredible. And I actually became really good friends with her throughout my time there. Like, she was like my sister, and I'll never forget her. She was such a sweet woman, and it was definitely a highlight having that connection while I was over there. But yeah, felt very safe in my apartment, had a little veranda overlooking the hills, like it was gorgeous. So I stayed there, and then so Monday and Friday I worked at the hospital. Again, I was picked up every morning by a driver, taken to the hospital. I was introduced to everyone at the hospital, and it's quite hard. You've got to, find your feet a little bit and really put yourself out there to get involved. Otherwise you will find yourself just standing back and watching. And at the start it was okay, but towards the end I realized, okay, if I want to get involved more, you kind of need to put yourself out there a lot. And then at the end of the day, we were given the option to either be picked up or walk home, but I would always walk back to my apartment block, which I actually found like it was such a highlight, because you'd have all the local kids and stuff running up to you, high-fiving you, and it was always just an experience. That walk home, a very hot walk home, but it was a really good experience. But the hospital itself was, I had worked in developing countries before, so I was kind of expecting it to be tough. So if you haven't been to a developing country before and you are going to go work in the hospital or volunteer in the hospital, just be prepared that you are going to see some really confronting things. And when I say confronting things, I mean people dying, people that are, in severe respiratory distress, and we have no oxygen. We have no suction machine for someone vomiting who's about to aspirate. I was involved with multiple cardiac arrests there with basic equipment, and using hand suction machines trying to suction. And it was really devastating to see, and I did go home multiple times in tears from what I was seeing, but it was something I will never forget, and I think it's something that has really made me into the nurse I am today. I got to do a lot of things that I would never usually do, like deliver babies. Not a midwife at all. However, that was an incredible experience. And if you are a midwife, this is 100% the place you need to go, because they got me into the maternity ward. I was delivering babies. They literally just deliver babies one after another. The family come in, clean the room, next one come in. It was really incredible to see. I even went in with the doctors for a bit and did some cesareans, which were really like amazing. What else happened? Like, it was just so amazing. I mean, I remember when every baby would be delivered, I would just be crying, like, oh my God, it's another baby. Like, it was just like so fascinating. They're all looking at me like, who is this white woman? Like, why does she keep crying? But to me, it was the most beautiful thing. I did leave there thinking maybe I'll become a midwife, but it never has happened again. But it's like, and then lots of time in the pediatric ward, which was really fun. I loved being there with the kids, and a big part of it wasn't actually about like towards the end, I wasn't probably doing what I thought I was going to do as a nurse over there, but to just go into that kids ward and spend, an hour at the end of every day to make them laugh and smile was something really rewarding. I used to bring lollipops in with me and walk around and give all the kids a lollipop at the end of the day. Lots of kids, like severe malnutrition, severe burns, and these kids that had like little babies that had massive burns, getting all these excruciating baths every day, no pain relief. Like, I saw this little boy with a huge with some sort of abscess on his leg, and they were just draining it, put a slit in it and was completely draining it with no pain relief whatsoever. Like, it was the most horrific thing I had seen. And in that situation, like, as hard as it was for me, the only thing I could do there was literally just hold his hand and like wipe away the tears and like just comfort him as much as we could. But that's the sort of things you will see over there and that you need to be prepared for. But yeah, like I said, it's an experience like no other. There was a lot of international doctors over there, which I found really helpful, and it was really good to get to know them and work a little bit with them as well. So that was like my experience at the hospital. So I did that Monday to Friday, and I had the weekends off. So weekends, you had a few options of things you could do. I went to the local orphanage a few times, which was really fun, and they put on like a big lunch for me, and I had a little look around. And then I actually ended up I did a fair bit of fundraising before I went there, and to take money with me. And then when I was there, I decided where I thought it would be best fit. And a large part of that was the orphanage. Like, I remember going into that, and a lot of the kids were sleeping on the concrete floor, like not even a mattress. So I spent a large bit of that money just going out and buying a huge, I think it was like 20 or 30 mattresses just to put in the room so the kids had something to sleep on. So if you are going to go over there, I would highly recommend to do some fundraising before you go and have a little bit of extra money there, because you will see things that are really hard. And there's just a small contribution while you're over there. I saw that, they didn't have mattresses. So I just went out and brought a heap of mattresses, and it was so rewarding. I also did the same with the hospital. So I had a heap of money that I fundraised for the hospital, and I spent a day on the weekend, one of the days with, and this was organised, I had organised this through Giddy's Adventures, and I said I need a driver to go across to the city because I need to buy all this sort of stuff. So I think I brought like 2 brand new adult wheelchairs, 2 pediatric wheelchairs, blood pressure machines, sat probes, heaters for the newborn babies in the malnutrition room. I brought a whole heap of stuff to donate to the hospital, which was really cool. And again, so rewarding. So that's all sort of things you can think of as you take on, if you do decide to go over there. So yeah, the orphanage is an option for weekends. Another one was I just went for a few walks with other people. Language classes, which was really cool. I had a tutor that came over to my apartment a few times a week, and we went through the local language, which was really hard, but it was good fun. The local church, oh my God, you have to go to the church on the Sunday. I myself am not very religious. However, that church was honestly a highlight. It is think gospel, like singing, dancing, like emotional crying. It is like something you see in a movie, and I could go every single week if I could. Like, it was amazing. Like, I took so many videos, and they were so welcoming to me being there as well. So that was really massive highlight. The other things, We went across to the other villages, like a few hours drive, into a big lake, and there was a restaurant there. So there's plenty of stuff you can do in your own time, but then also make sure you have your time by yourself as well, because I remember, I think like on a weekend I would say, okay, I contacted the lady who was organising everything for me, and I said, hey, can you please, I just want the whole Sunday to myself. I don't want any visitors or anything like that, because you do need that too, because it does get really full on. And that was pretty much my time over in Migori. And then after I left Migori, I actually went and did Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. So they also helped me facilitate that, going across, getting the bus across to Tanzania and all that sort of stuff. So they do a lot. They will literally do whatever you need. So you just message them and say, hey, I really want to include this in my trip, or is this a possibility? Or when you're over there, text message away. A lot of the people that I met, like the drivers, the people at the hospital, I ended up going and having dinners at all of their houses, which is really a good experience, because you're out there in the village and you're really seeing how they all live, and like the traditional food, which is incredible. And that I just, to be like all, it was a highlight of my life, and I really want to hope that I can get back over there. And I would go over there in a heartbeat and do it all over again, because they looked after me so well. As a young female woman, I felt extremely safe the whole time. But yeah, I'm sure they've all got my contact numbers, so if you have any questions, please get in contact, because I am happy to share all of my experiences, and I've got so many photos and videos of my whole time over there. So thank you, and if you go, good luck, enjoy every moment. It can be challenging, but it's also extremely rewarding, so just enjoy. Thanks.